Hi, I'm Matthew.
And I'm Milan. We were both affected by life-threatening medical conditions during our early teenage years, and both received wishes from the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
After our wishes were granted, Milan and I both joined the Make-A-Wish Youth Board, where we met and decided to start our podcast, The Wish Kids.
Our podcast highlights experiences and life from a sick kid's point of view, and offers more insight into the magic of a Make-A-Wish.
Welcome to The Wish Kids.
Happy Friday, and welcome back to the Wish Kids.
Yeah, welcome back. We're going to try something a little different this week on The Wish Kids. Milan and I are going to do a draft of dream jobs that kids would pick in school. This is as if you're an adult or a teacher going to a kid's class and asking them, hey, what do you want me to grow up? In the mind of a 3, 4, 5-year-old, we're going to pick what we think are the best options for dream jobs that kids would pick. And we're going to go back and forth as a draft does. And we'll let you, the viewer, decide who won this draft. We'll post a little screenshot, some clips of what we picked at the end, and you can vote and tell us who won this draft.
Yes, I'm excited, especially because I won the spinny wheel thing of who gets to go first.
Yeah, I spun a wheel. It's my favorite thing in the world, actually, is spinning wheels. That's a tangent for another time, but I love to spin. Anytime I have a decision that I can't decide, rather than flipping a coin, I spin a wheel. So much more fun. Just
Yeah,
colorful.
I actually think that would add a little bit like more anticipation than just figuring out like heads or tails.
It does. I'll do like best of 7 series also. Like I'll like sit there on my phone by myself and just like spin, and I'll just like watch it go around. It's so fun. And it's
Wow.
always so close because it's a 50-50 chance. So it's always so close in the best of 7. But
Wow.
anywho, back to the draft. We got
The
first.
more you
Malone.
know. Okay, so should I go first?
Yeah, this is the number one
Like
overall pick of the dream jobs draft. This is what you consider
this is the one.
this is what you consider to be the best available option for any dream job. You have any dream job for a child of your
Okay. Like if it was a child answering, I'm just confirming so that like I
Yeah.
get it right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with astronaut.
That was my number. That was pretty high for me. That's a very good choice. You want to talk about your pick a little bit here? Explain it?
Yes. Okay. So when I think about like a literal out of this world type of job, I think astronaut. And I also think it's one of those ones that kids think about just in such an elaborate way because there's a lot of work in process, like a process to become an astronaut that I was kind of like, if a kid could come, if you ask a kid, the most common answer I would think is astronaut because it's fun exploring kind of like something outside of yourself and the earth.
Yeah. It's one of those jobs that I feel like every kid at some point in their life says they want to do. And it is one of those like, yeah, very hard job to do. Like that there's been what, barely a dozen people have ever gone to the moon, something like that. I think like less than 20 or less than 30 at least have ever set foot on the moon. But every kid grows up and it's like, I want to go to the moon someday. I want to step foot on a different planet. And so it's a very good dream job to have.
I also really like that it kind of inspires kids to kind of literally reach for the stars in a way of their education and take it seriously.
Oh, nice. Yeah, reach for the nice astronaut pun. Very good.
Thank you.
Um, all right.
You know what? You know, it's actually like a really fun fact. I just have to say this because as much as I admire the astronauts, I also really admire the people who get the astronauts to the moon and like build the rocket. Like there's a girl, Margaret Hamilton, who helped with the Apollo 11 mission, and I've been like just really fascinated with her because she created the Universal Systems language that got him to the moon and then is like also still involved in our computers today. And I just think that's like so fascinating.
No, it's crazy the amount of science and computing and just math that these scientists do to get to space and to build rockets and to get them off the ground. And yeah, incredible people. So yeah, shout out to her and shout out to everyone else who's worked on these missions to get astronauts to the moon. And yeah, good pick.
Thank you.
That
Thank you.
was
All right.
that was my number
Next.
2 choice actually. So my number 1 is still on the board, which I'm gonna take right now. And my number 1, my first round pick for a child's dream job is to be a princess or to be a prince.
Oh.
Because I think that's one of those things that, for the large majority of us, it's not an attainable goal. It's probably not going to happen. You probably, I hate to say it, but you probably won't become a prince or princess. Um, but at the same time, it's like a dream, I guess, job because it is a profession in a way to become
It
a prince or
is.
princess. I feel like that's one of those things a little less common than astronaut, but definitely a child will say sometimes like, "Oh, like when I grow up, I want to be a princess," or like when I grow up, I want to be a prince. Like I want to have a castle and have knights, and I think it's very fun and very whimsical and has a lot of that childhood spirit and joy involved in it.
Yes, I also feel the plethora of Disney characters that are princesses have helped inspire that. And then just kind of like as you actually get a little bit older, I feel people still kind of have that, oh, I'd want to be like a princess or something because of the Princess Diaries that came out and like she was just like an ordinary girl and then became a princess the next day. And I think that like concept of like I could be royalty
Uh-huh.
is just so exciting and like just, oh, I could do that.
You never know with Ancestry.com now and 23andMe. It's like you can find out you're a prince or princess. Just do a little DNA test. Like, oh, look at that. I own land in Scotland. That's but
Yes.
all right. That's good. Very strong first round. I like your choice a lot.
Thank you.
Round two. Who are you
Okay.
taking for your second pick?
I have like so many options for this one, but I kind of want to go. Can I combine two? Because it's kind of similar.
If you'd like, yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say
Or do you want?
firefighter, police officer. Like,
Okay, yeah. That I'll take that as a combined.
okay.
Yeah.
Because I feel like with Paw Patrol kind of like becoming very popular, I feel like that is definitely something you would hear kids say. And when I would babysit a lot, that was definitely like even the little girls I babysat, like they were like, I want to be a firefighter because I think it actually seems really cool. And also, we grew up in the Bay Area where there's been so many fires
Inspired.
that I think seeing those people who've like helped protect what we have and like our homes kind of made other kids feel like they want to do that for other people. And I think that like is really cute.
Yeah, I almost wrote that down on my list also, actually, firefighter. That was almost very high. 'Cause I know it's super common, but then it's an incredible profession. So much respect to all firefighters out there and just like all like, yeah, lesser appreciated member of the emergency services is ambulance people and EMT. Also amazing, incredible people. And so shout out to them. That's not usually a dream job. No one says really they want to be an emergency ambulance driver, EMT. But firefighter and police officer are definitely up there with it. But yeah, I left it off because I know it is a lot of work and it is not as, I guess, sparkly of a profession as an astronaut. Certainly not as sparkly as a princess or a prince.
Yeah.
A lot less sparkles, but
There's There's a little picture of me that I have of me in preschool, and I'm wearing the like firefighter uniform. Like, I used to want to be a firefighter because I was like, I could see myself like running into a building and using the big hose and like
mhm,
spraying down the fire and being like, yeah,
that's
carry,
one of those things.
do
Those
the
hoses, like
firefighter carry.
they
Sorry.
look so cool with like the huge handle. You just like pull the whole thing back, and like I think I feel like every young boy has drawn as a firefighter for at least one Halloween. Like the little plastic red hat they get, or even just like going to a fire station for a field trip and they hand out hats to everyone. It's like one of the coolest things. And yeah, wearing those jackets that are a million pounds as a child.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I was a firehouse dog for Halloween one time.
Oh, a Dalmatian.
And I
That's
had a little
cute.
hat too, because I want everyone to know that I wasn't just a Dalmatian or a dog. No, I was a firehouse dog.
That's all. That's a very okay. Yeah, that's a good pick. I left it off my list. I almost had it on, and then I took it off. But I
Well, now I want to know what your second pick was then.
well, now it's my turn. My second pick, with Princess and Astronaut off the board. I'm gonna go with a not just an actor or an actress, but a movie star.
Okay.
So I think that is one that similar to astronaut and princess or prince, it has a lot of fame involved. And I think that a lot of kids love that idea and possibility of becoming famous. And I feel like there's also a certain point in every kid's life who they'll watch a movie and be like, I want to do that someday. I want to be on the big screen. I want everyone to see me and see my name and see me acting. And I think it's a very, again, very hard profession to get into. Not
Yes.
easy, but
Um, I was gonna pick something similar to it, but I feel like I would not pick it now because that's on the board, but I was gonna say rock star as well because I
Oh,
feel like we could add movie and rock star and it's like a very similar thing,
I thought about
especially
that. Yeah.
after Hannah Montana came out. I think that created a whole generation of just like people who want to be like in the limelight, just sharing what they have with everybody. And I don't know,
I
I
didn't even
think
think of
that's a good
Rockstar.
pick because it's definitely like I can remember being like after I watched High School Musical, I was like, I'm going to be Sharpay Evans, and then I'm going to be Ashley Tisdale and Vanessa Hudgens. I'm going to go be very popular and walk a red carpet.
You watch those shows and movies about, yeah, like kids or about high school, and you're like, that will be me. I will be that person from that movie, but in real life, and then it doesn't happen. But it's just, but yeah, I think Rockstar would have been. I forgot about Rockstar. Actually, it's not on my list, but that might have been better than Movie Star.
We
Actually,
can combine them. It's the same. It's like to me, it's like the same like concept of just being very popular amongst
yeah,
the people.
we can put Rockstar in honorable mentions. I think that'd be good to go there.
Um, all right. My next one is teacher. I feel people or like kids, they like look at their teachers and they obviously really appreciate, I mean, if especially if it's a really good teacher, they admire them and look up to them and want to do what they do. And I remember when I really wanted to be a teacher because I loved school supplies and I just wanted to own every single thing and like grade papers and like I would make everybody play school. Like you came over to my house, we're playing school. I had a whiteboard, I had a desk, like a school desk, not just like a like not like a workspace, but like an actual desk that I was like, I'm gonna be a teacher. And I was just obsessed with the whole concept. And I just think I can ask many kids and they'd be like, oh, I want to be a teacher. And there's a bunch of teachers who have done so much for me that like I know that how much work that takes to be able to kind of like pass a whole education down to kids.
Yeah, no, that's a phenomenal pick. I can't believe you would make kids like after school, you would make them come over to your house and do more school
Oh, I had
on play
homework and
day.
everything. It was a whole
That
thing.
is the worst play date ever. What?
Yep.
That's terrible.
Yeah. I had a whole roster. I would name all my stuffed animals and put them like on a roster and everything. It was really great.
That yeah.
They
I
everybody got report cards too.
I also didn't know that they just sold desks like retail, like you just buy those. I didn't
Mhm.
like
Mhm. They
Amazon when
had
they
a
put
flip
them.
up too. It was so
Oh,
cool.
those are I never had one of those. I always wanted a flip up one.
It was
Those are the
just
coolest. Oh,
I painted it blue too. My dad painted it blue. I didn't paint it blue.
that's sweet. Yeah, don't take yeah.
Yeah. I also think after I watched Magic School Bus, everybody was like, that's the type of teacher I'm gonna be.
Yeah, no, teacher is a awesome choice. Also, School of Rock, I feel like that was one that I would watch and be like, music teacher seems very fun to like just play instruments with kids and rock out. And usually they're not as good as the kids in School of Rock in elementary school, but I remember playing recorder in second and third grade. We weren't good. We weren't good at all.
Yeah, no. We used to get when we played recorder, we used to be asked to like close the door and like keep it to like a 15-minute time frame because it was just so bad.
Yeah, it's rough. My buddy this past month, he's been trying to teach himself harmonica.
Oh.
And that's one of those ones where if you're good at harmonica, it's fun. But it takes a while to get good at harmonica, and he's in that stage where he's not good yet. And
Oh.
so it's a bad sounding instrument when you're not good. And so he'll do like
Yeah,
private
that's a
lessons.
very niche instrument to be involved in.
Yeah, I don't know
But
what I
it
think
sounds so good when you're like
you're good.
knowing what you're doing.
He doesn't at
Oh.
all. That's the problem. Yeah, that's the problem that we're at right now.
Mm,
But back to teacher, great pick.
thank
Great pick. I had that on my list also. So that was,
you.
yeah,
Mm,
very good choice.
thank
Funny,
you.
huh? Um, my next one, I feel like goes along with teacher. Like I feel like the big three that children. I guess you almost kind of already have the big three of astronaut, firefighter, teacher. I someone please vote for me at mine. I'm gonna go with president
Oh.
because I think that is also another one that I feel like most kids, especially back maybe before our generation. I feel like at the start of our generation, a lot of people would say, "I want to be an astronaut and a president." And
Oh.
so I know my dad's dream growing up was to be astronaut, president and third baseman for the Red Sox. And so it's like
Okay.
he wanted to do all three of those at the same time, which maybe someone can someday. Um, President's a tough job, and I think as you grow older, you realize I don't really want that job.
That's a good choice because there's so many kids that would want to be the president, or like that's like what they view as like the highest, coolest job you could get.
I think
That's realistic and attainable, and like you don't need to go through like hundreds of years of education like you would maybe an astronaut.
it's similar to prince or princess, but American. I feel like there's no princes or princesses here, but I feel like that's like the highest point you can get in America in a way. But it's also one of those jobs that, yeah, you want it as a kid, it's a dream job. When you're 3 or 4 or 5, you say President of the United States because you don't know what it is. You just know there's power. And then you get older and you're like maybe not, maybe I don't want to go down that route. But as a kid, you're like, that sounds awesome. You're in charge. There's no one in charge of you. I think that's the biggest thing. Is it's like, as a kid, I remember thinking about president. I was like, oh yeah, there's no rules. Like you can do anything you want. You're in charge of the entire U.S. Like you can do anything you want. You can make all the rules, and then you realize, oh, you can't do that. But it's one of those things that for a while when you're young, you think president sounds awesome because you're your own boss. It's like
I do think the idea of a president appeals to kids. So you're
yeah,
right on that one.
yeah. I think as a dream job for a child, that's where I'm putting it as. Yeah.
Yeah. My next one
Is
is
this sorry? Is this? Do you want this to be last round, or do you want to add a fifth round in?
I have more. Like I have
Should we do
plenty.
5?
I don't know. Are you okay? I feel like I've taken a lot of the
I'm
good
cool doing
ones.
5. I got extras. I got extras.
Okay.
Let's do 5.
Um, this one is scientist, and then very niche part of scientist is marine biologist.
Oh, oh.
So, scientist I derived from Bill Nye the Science Guy. There is no
Hmm.
way you watch Bill Nye and not think he makes it look so fun, so easy that I could totally do that. And then you actually get to a physics class later and you're like, wait, this is not what Bill Nye made it seem to be. But I think scientist to me has I just loved mixing stuff that I know when I babysit kids and like I watch them do things, they love just like experimenting and putting different things together. And then I feel like a very niche answer when you ask kids is marine biologist. I don't know. I feel like
Kids
a
love
lot
that.
of people have always like at least some point they've thought about being marine biologists because they love animals and the ocean and helping and like exploring. I feel like it kind of combines all of that because I know I wanted to be a
I
marine
feel like it
biologist.
almost always revolves around dolphins somehow too, though.
Yes,
At least in
it's
my
that one trip
experience.
to Hawaii that just
Hmm.
really seals the deal.
You see a dolphin, or you go on a dolphin swimming experience, and you're like, "Yep, that's what I want to be. I want to do this, but science." And then you're in. That I like that a lot. Yeah, because there is that like as a child, even just watching like the Muppets, like was Mr. Beaker is that his name? He just has like he's like the beak. It's just like I just Beaker is his name, not Mr. Beaker. But just like the idea.
It's the formal
Yes,
of his name.
I'm not on a first name basis yet. But it's just the idea of like wearing a white lab coat and like having beakers of different brightly colored liquids that you pour into one another, and you pour one, it goes poof, and it explodes into a little puff cloud, or you pour one and like solidifies, and just there's definitely that appeal of being a scientist, and mad scientist too is a fun concept and fun Halloween costume. And
Yes, that was actually going to be what I said, and then I was like, no, scientist is like fine, fits the category. But mad scientist, if we really get
yeah,
specific.
I like mad scientist on there. We'll change it to mad scientist slash marine
Okay.
biologist. I like that. Um, I didn't have this one on my list, and the next one I'm gonna say for my fourth round pick, I didn't have on my list either until you said that, but now I'm going to include it. It's a veterinarian.
Oh, that was on my list. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think of that until you said marine biologist. I was like, other animal job that's great is a
Yes.
veterinarian. That I feel like
Every
honestly,
kid has said that at some point.
I
Every
would
kid.
I would be a
Like,
veterinarian now. Honestly,
yeah.
like I didn't think of it, but like I would be one now. That sounds it's so cute, and like obviously as you grow older you realize, oh, it's not all fun and games. You don't just get to pet animals all day. But as a kid, the idea is that work in an office and people bring in puppies to you and kitties and iguanas and guinea pigs and any old animal that needs help, and you just hang out with animals all day, and it's the dream job for so many kids. And I feel like, yeah, it's one of those that so many kids say they want to be when they grow up. Mm.
Yeah, that was it was definitely one of my top jobs. I actually almost went to college for it, but then kind of like sat and thought about it actually is kind of sad.
Yeah, that's
Like,
yeah.
I don't know if I have the like emotional stability to handle just like seeing so many like animals that need help and then just being like, oh my God, because I'm very sensitive. So if I see these like hurt animals, I might just cry, and I don't know if I want to cry for like 8 hours.
Yeah, it's tough when they're animals, especially when they're cute. It's just like, oh no. Like but as a kid, it's a great job. It seems like an amazing, amazing job.
Yes.
Um, yeah, so that is my fourth round. And then this is fifth round, your final pick.
Okay. I'm looking at my list to see like kind of what I want to
Mhm.
say. I have so many good ones, but I think I'm gonna go with billionaire.
I almost wrote that down too. I almost wrote that down. That is such a good pick. That is such a good pick.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
But I also have to say, on top of billionaire, a quadruple zillionaire, because there are so many
Oh.
times where I've asked kids and they say something like that it's like a
Mhm.
number that doesn't exist.
A made up number of
Yeah.
money that is so large that they can't even put into words.
Yes, but I feel like the idea of what you had was like president, you had power, but with a billionaire, you have money and power.
Especially as a quadruple zillionaire.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
you just
so much
own
money.
you could buy the earth.
Unfathomable money. It's just not. No, that is one of those that is. It's so funny to me when kids say that as a dream job. You'll say, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And they'll be like, "I want to be a millionaire." Like, well,
Think bigger.
you need to do something to get that. Usually, um, but that is a great dream job, and yeah, that's another one where similar to veterinarian, I would still, you know, if I had to, I would be a quadruple zillionaire. If push comes to shove, if I really need to. But yeah, that's a very good pick. Okay, I like that. Um,
Okay, your last one.
last pick, I have four here, and I think one of them is more real than the other ones,
hmm
but also fun. And so, yeah, I'll leave one for my honorable mentions. I'll say for this one, a professional athlete.
Okay.
I mentioned it earlier briefly how my dad wanted to be third baseman for the Red Sox. I grew up wanting to be third baseman for the Dodgers or a pitcher, and I had that dream until high school. Still, like I thought there was still a chance. Um, but I feel like most kids, it's like there are like the major ones. There's astronaut, there's firefighter, there's president, there's teacher, there's vet, there's professional athlete. Like you say like your favorite team, you want to play for that team. Especially I know like growing up, like I going to lots of baseball games, going like watching lots of basketball on TV. I would go out in my front yard and like reenact plays that different athletes did on TV. This one, my favorite college athlete of all time, Kemba Walker. He played for the Yukon Huskies. I think it was 2012 or 2011 in the NCAA tournament. He did this step back crossover buzzer beater to send UConn to March Madness, and then they ended up winning. And every day after school, I would go home and like try to do that crossover, and like I would like out loud be like, "Oh, Kemba Walker, step back three, three, two, one, countdown." I would miss it, be like, "Oh, there's still time on the clock, three, two," and get the rebound, shoot again. Um,
Aw.
but it's one of those dream jobs where I think it's hard. It's really hard, but you can do it if you try really hard too.
Yeah. I think a lot of these just show like dedication because also I was gonna say for me like when we originally started making the list, I started being like, well, what were my dream jobs? And I put an Olympian, so kind of a professional athlete as
Mhm.
well. And I wanted to be an Olympic gymnast because I think that like, you know, it's it's what people they really get involved in their own sport. And once they're kind of doing that, they're like, what else can I do with it? How can I do what I love? And that's how like the professional athletes, I think, like you guys watch sports or are in the sport and then are like, I want to do more and be more within it. And I don't know, I think a professional athlete is a really good one, and which actually I feel is a very like all of these are in a way very realistic besides the prince or princess one. But I feel like it's just it comes down to dedication and just like if that is what your life's destiny ends up being, as like you grow up and you kind of start finding more interest in other things that you might not want to be a scientist but an engineer instead. So
Mhm.
I think that
You have to
all of
be
them are very attainable in some way.
you have to be really, really dedicated and motivated to be a quadruple zillionaire. Like that's a bit of a stretch, I think, but I guess some people can do it.
You could be a mad scientist and then somehow invent like the cure to everything and be a quadruple zillionaire.
Or invent money, just invent a new money or
Yeah,
more of it.
Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's all you need. Um, I like that. I also, yeah, I say we do some honorable mentions too, 'cause I have a few left on my list. We mentioned rock star already. That kind of correlates with movie star. You mentioned Olympian, which correlates with professional athlete. I put on the honorable mention list zookeeper.
I
Uh,
had zookeeper.
you did?
I literally have
Okay.
zookeeper,
'Cause
yes.
I that kind of fell into the veterinarian
Yeah.
role a bit, and so I wrote it down as I was saying veterinarian, but I wasn't sure if you wanted to use that. I shouldn't have taken. I don't know if you were going to use that instead of billionaire.
No. I was actually I was okay. My other one was gonna be superhero, but then you said princesses and princesses, so I was like, it's fine. Like that's kind of like the same category.
Good
And
though.
then my other one was gonna be an engineer because I feel like after I watched Phineas and Ferb, I wanted to
Ooh.
build anything and everything, and that kind of like just was so inspiring that they just found a way to just build stuff in their backyard, even though they were very like large and in charge ideas and concepts, that it was just still like I could definitely build something. And I did engineer a nail polish holder this weekend, so I feel
Whoa.
like I could still be an engineer today.
Sure could.
And
I
then, yeah, that was it. Rockstar, marine biologist, Olympian, zookeeper. I think zookeeper is a really good one.
Zookeepers are really good. That's a good one on the board, or not on the board. My brother, he was a engineer in college, and when I think I was watching Phineas and Ferb, like when he went off to college around that time, I didn't know that Phineas and Ferb were engineers. I didn't really know what an engineer was. I still thought it was like a train engineer, like someone who drives the train in my mind, and so I really had no idea what engineer was until probably 6 or 7 years ago. Maybe no, probably more. Maybe more. Probably more. Um, but no, it is one of those things where there's that desire to build in a lot of people, and I have that desire too, where I'll walk by like a pile of trash and see a big wooden plank. I'll be like, I can use that for something. Then I'll be like, what am I gonna do with it? Like, no, I don't need this. Or there's just like I'll like see like a thing like sheet metal or like a metal box, and I'll be like, ooh, that'd be fun to like cut up and do something with. And I'm like, what am I gonna do with this? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't need this. And there's a while where I'd actually take things home like that and just have them. Now I realize I don't need this. I'm not gonna use it for anything. But it's just that desire to build stuff and do stuff is a fun dream job.
It is. Also, Legos help with the engineering concept.
Big time, big time. My other honorable mentions, I also had video game tester.
Okay.
So that was that still is my dream job, is just to play video games. Like in my mind, it just entails sitting on a couch and playing video games. And I'm sure there's more to it than that, video game tester. But I looked up actually video game tester jobs last week, and I saw some listings. I was like, oh my gosh. And then you apparently need like 1 or 2 years of experience as a video game tester. So I don't know where to get the entry level video game testing jobs, nor to get these higher up video game testing jobs. But if anyone knows, please reach out to me, because I would love to be a video game tester. I would love to play video games and tell you what's good about them, tell you what's bad about them. I love playing video games. My other honorable mention was a stuntman. Um, like I was thinking kind of like a motorcycle, like Evil Knievel type,
Okay.
like a daredevil, like you jump over
Yeah.
buses on a ramp, or like X Games kind of where you like ride a BMX bike and do these like flips and something just cool like that. Um,
Okay. I was gonna, when you first said it, I was gonna say, like, when I think about a stuntman, I think about like a stunt double in a movie that I was like, is that professional athlete genre subdivision?
it's similar. It's close to gymnast. Yeah, they do a lot of just falling usually.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was thinking like yeah, like on a motorcycle, like going off
Yeah,
a
it's very
jump.
out there.
Yeah, like flame. You could jump through like a ring of fire. Like
Oh, so like a circus almost too.
almost. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you know that they actually have like circuses in college? I didn't know that.
College circuses? Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I've heard of like clown
like
college before.
in no 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 like at Florida, like at a university in Florida. I don't know exactly which one, but they have like a circus team.
That's sweet.
Like as you could be in the circus.
That is so
I
cool.
know. I was like, what? I didn't know. I like honestly I don't know how I would like if you think about the circus, like how does one get involved in the circus?
You have to go to college for circus activities. Just
Like I think I've only ever watched The Greatest Showman and he just
Mhm.
like recruited the people. So like I don't know the application process of
someone
joining this.
someone majored in juggling and minored in trapeze. They had double minor in unicycling also.
Actually, riding a unicycle though seems like a really cool flex.
It seems so hard. I don't know how you even like get up on it to start, but just like going back and forth, and yeah, it seems cool.
Yeah.
My last honorable mention was the one I almost chose for my final pick. It's outlandish in the same sense of billionaire, quadruple zillionaire. It's being a dinosaur.
Oh.
I thought that that is one that at a certain age, some children might say, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" I want to be a dinosaur. I know that one of the brothers says it in the movie Step Brothers. Actually, no, it's the dad in Step Brothers. He says he used to want to be a dinosaur when he was growing up, and he would walk around his backyard with his arms all small and just roar. But just like something like crazy and fun and silly like that, as just that child mind that's so fun and young and full of joy. Just we want to be grow up. I want to be a dinosaur. Like it's just one of those things.
I used to play dinosaurs. I had a really good roar. I'm just saying. I was, I that was probably me as a kid being like, I'm gonna be a dinosaur. I'm gonna be a
Mhm.
T-Rex. I actually have a blanket that has a dinosaur hood and like
Oh,
paws, and it's
that's
so cute.
cool. I have so much respect for kids who get super into things, like especially kids who get super into dinosaurs and learn every dinosaur's name, like every niche dinosaur and every fact about them, and just will recite them and spit them out at you. Even if you don't ask for it, they'll start saying, "Do you know about the Velociraptor?" And they'll just like say a million facts. And that's whoa.
It's so pure because it's like you can tell they're just so passionate about it, and then they grow up and become like a paleontologist. Is that the right name?
That's the
Paleo-
one that I think that's the one that looks at the fossils. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds right. Sure, let's go with that.
Archaeologist. I don't know.
Ooh, maybe it's that too. But art paleontologist is a yeah, that's fossil record. Yeah, yeah. Nice. Good pull. Good pull. Um, my last honorable mention for dream jobs is being a make-a-wish wish granter.
Oh, oh, that is so cute. Oh my goodness. Yes, that's also my dream job. And we're very lucky to have the Make-A-Wish family and community kind of like supporting us. And I think that being a wish granter and giving back, the hope that I got would be very rewarding. So that is a very great honorable mention.
Thank you. Yeah, I think this was a phenomenal draft. Looking back at the list, I'm yours is top heavy. It's good at the top. Mine's not bad at the bottom. There's a little like the 1, 2 to 3, 4, 5 shift is it's there. We'll let the viewers decide, I guess.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough vote.
Tough vote, but I'm looking forward to doing more of these in the future. I like this. This is fun.
Thank you. Yeah, I had fun too.
Awesome. Well, good draft, good day, and as always, the Wish Kids wish you well.
We would also like to thank all of our wonderful nurses and doctors that we have had along the way and remind you that they are healthcare professionals, not us.
Please keep in mind, any medical information or stories shared and discussed in this podcast are based on personal experiences and are not meant to serve as medical advice. Please talk with your doctor about any medical concerns, questions, and guidance as they are trained medical professionals.
Any brands, corporations, trademarks, or characters in the show, even those based on real people, are purely fictional.
The Wish Kids wish you well.